Your relationship must prosper. Your marriage must work. Every breakup and every divorce is usually a visible manifestation of the violation of visible and invisible principles. When these laws are consistently violated, emotional disconnection will take place, conflicts will ensue, betrayals will happen, and of course, divorce will naturally follow. Breakups will naturally follow among singles. Why do you need to give attention to your relationship? You need to give attention to it because of what the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 18 in verse 22. The Bible says that find a good spouse. When you find a good spouse, you find a good life. The Bible ties a good life to a good spouse. And how so true? Your life will be miserable if you're connected to a miserable partner, except you know how to isolate yourself from such a person. It matters who you marry. It matters who you marry. The whole of your life, the whole of your achievement, the rest of your life, your joy, your peace, your patience, your excitement, the rest of your life will be greatly predicated on who you choose to marry. It is therefore dangerous for a single to ignore the process involved in finding a good spouse. There are laws that governs breakups and divorces. The first is what I call the law of entropy. It's scientific principles that communicates the fact that every system naturally moves from a state of order to a state of disorder, except energy, force is applied to it. In essence, if you leave things the way they are, they will not get better. They will get worse. Disintegration is what happens to what you do not intentionally give attention to. Marriages don't turn out right if efforts are not put into them. So it takes effort for marriages to work. If you're not ready to make things work, you're not ready to make relationships work, there's no point going into it in the first place. Love declines without nurturing. Communication will fade away without intentionality. Number 2 law is what I call the law of emotional bandwidth. And this law simply tells you that when communication decreases, misunderstanding will increase. Bandwidth is the capacity of a communication system to accurately transmit information. Bandwidth is that capacity in a communication system to accurately transmit information. In the same vein, emotional bandwidth is the capacity in all of us to be able to communicate our thoughts, our feelings, and our expectations with clarity and empathy. You must learn how to communicate how you feel. The third law, the law of trust architecture. Very powerful law in relationship. And this law states that trust is the structural framework of every relationship or marriage. You don't build a house without the framework, the pillars. Trust is the pillar that holds the house together. Trust is what keeps a relationship. Is one of the major structural pillars of a house. That's why we call it the trust architecture. Once trust is compromised, the entire building will begin to collapse. One of the laws is what we call the law of software update. It states that relationships that stop growing will eventually become obsolete. But don't forget that relationships in themselves cannot go to classrooms. Marriages will not go to classrooms. It is the individuals in the relationships, in the marriages, are the ones who must commit themselves to growing. When you commit yourself to personal growth, what automatically happens is that your relationship begins to grow. In most cases, people don't commit themselves to learning. So your marriage has moved into 2020 something, but what drives the marriage is from 19 something. The knowledge that is driving today's marriage is from yesterday, and unfortunately some of the things you are using to drive your marriage today, some of them are no longer relevant, and so it is creating conflict in your marriage. Grow in knowledge, grow in grace. When you grow, your marriage becomes better. The fifth law is what we call the law of relational security. Proverbs chapter 4 in verse 23. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Every relationship is only as secure as the boundaries that we establish around them. If your relationship doesn't have boundaries, your relationship will not be safe. If your marriage doesn't have boundaries, your marriage will not be safe. So when it comes to relational security, what you fail to protect will eventually be compromised. The sixth law is what we call the law of destiny synchronization, the law of destiny alignment. So when we're talking about the law of destiny synchronization, we are talking about a situation whereby two lives begins to move in one direction. When two lives stop moving in the same direction, separation begins. But when there is destiny synchronization, two lives come together and then find a way to blend whatever their individual visions were into one corporate vision, and together they are moving now into a common future. And it's very critical to understand that two can't work together except they are agreed. Chemistry creates attraction. It is shared purpose that creates longevity. Number 7 is called the law of covenant resilience. Strong relationships are built to recover. Wise people build their relationship to weather storms, survive challenges, and come through eventually the hardest of time and finally make it to their pre-planned and prefixed destinations. That we may go through the worst of times, challenging moments. We may go through the hardest times in our lives, but there's something that will happen in the end of the day. You will find us all together in the end of the day because we have what we call covenant resilience. Long-lasting relationships are not defined by the absence of failure, but by the refusal to abandon the covenant after failure or in the time of failure. Your relationship must prosper. Your marriage must work. Every breakup and every divorce is usually a visible manifestation of the violation of visible and invisible principles. When these laws are consistently violated, emotional disconnection will take place, conflicts will ensue, betrayals will happen, and of course, divorce will naturally follow. Breakups will naturally follow among singles. Why do you need to give attention to your relationship? You need to give attention to it because of what the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 18 in verse 22. The Bible says that find a good spouse. When you find a good spouse, you find a good life. The Bible ties a good life to a good spouse. And how so true? Your life will be miserable if you're connected to a miserable partner. except you know how to isolate yourself from such a person. It matters who you marry. It matters who you marry. The whole of your life, the whole of your achievement, the rest of your life, your joy, your peace, your patience, your excitement, the rest of your life will be greatly predicated on who you choose to marry. It is therefore dangerous for a single to ignore the process involved in finding. Wow. It is dangerous for you to ignore the process and think that you will have a better outcome. If you value your relationship, you need to give attention to the process. Today is going to be a remarkable day as we look at very important issues that concerns our relationships and marriages. Wherever you're joining from around the world, I welcome you to Relationship Today, where singles, single parents, couples, married persons, whoever you are, if what you value is healthy relationship, we welcome you to this beautiful platform where you will not only be informed, you'll be impacted, you'll be influenced, you'll be inspired. Our goal here is for your personal transformation so that your relationship can become better. Because we believe here that when you become better, your relationship becomes healthier. When you become better, your relationship becomes healthier and your marriage eventually will become a better experience. So it's important that you become better, and then you'll see relationships also become better. What a great time it is for you to invite your friends and let them know that Samuel is online with you now. And it promises to be a great day because we're looking today at something very, very crucial. We're going to be looking at the 5 major obstacles to healthy relationships and marriages. 5 major obstacles that has been discovered to be the major barriers to having healthy relationships and marriages. So if you want to have a great marriage, you want to have a good relationship, we encourage you to stay connected right now, whether you are in your office, you are on the road, wherever you find yourself right now. Give maximum attention, except if you're driving. Please don't, you can't be watching while you're driving. You can be listening whilst you are driving. For the rest of us, get your popcorn out, get your drink, put it beside you. You're married, get your wife, get your husband. You all hang around each other. Listen to this, put it on the loud system in your device, in your houses. Make sure you're listening to it in case you're all busy doing something else. It promises to be a great moment today. And for those of us who have already joined, what a great time it is for you to share. Help us to share the video right now, because someone is going to be grateful that you share. So please, someone doesn't know about this. It is therefore your responsibility to help us share it with them so that they can also be a part of what is happening here. So would you please go ahead and share with your friends? Let them know that Relationship Today is on. Like this is going to be a master class that you would truly be grateful that you were part of it. In the book of Proverbs chapter 18 verse 22, Proverbs 18 verse 22, the Bible says you find a good spouse, the Message translation, you find a good spouse, you find a good life. Can you see that? You find a good spouse and then you find a good life. This shows you how important it is to be careful about who you settle with, because the quality of life you will have ultimately will be predicated on the quality of relationship you keep within your inner cycle. Who is your wife? Who is your closest acquaintance? If you find a good spouse, you're going to find a good life. In fact, even more, you will have favor from God. Can you see how that a good life here and favor from God, all of that is predicated on having a good spouse. No matter how spiritual you are, don't ignore the importance of having a good spouse. The wrong person in your boat can make you experience storms for the rest of your life. You heard me right. Once you have the wrong person in your life, once you have the wrong person in your boat, you can experience storms for the rest of your life. And you don't want to be the wrong person either in somebody else's boat. You don't want to be the reason why somebody else's life is miserable because of your presence. So it is critical for you to know that the quality of life, and it's been proven so, the quality of health, sound mind, mental health, the quality of it that you will enjoy is greatly predicated on who you lay next to in bed every day, who you share the same roof with every day, who you wake up to see every day. It matters who you hang around with. It matters who you hang around with. Never forget that. It matters who you hang around with. Because relationship is the gateway, relationship is the bridge that takes you from the place of, being considered an outsider to an insider. So relationship is the gateway to intimacy. Relationship is the bridge that takes you from being an outsider to becoming an insider in somebody's life. It gives you access. Relationship gives you access. It's the bedrock for intimacy. It is the bedrock for disclosure. I can only share with you to the extent to which you are close to me, my personal issues. So if you are going to see into me, then we need to be intimate. That is very critical. So intimacy gives you the access to see into me. It's very critical. So it matters who you give access into your life for a short time or for a lifetime. I've always stated that relationships are not of equal value. Relationships are not of equal value. And the earlier you get to, determine that and establish that, the better for you. Everyone doesn't have the right to have access to everything in your life. Because relationships are not of equal value. What my wife knows, my children don't know. What my children know, you don't know. Jesus showed us that. We saw that Jesus had thousands who followed him. What thousands were exposed to was nothing compared to what the 120, what the 70 were exposed to. In actual fact, the more you come closer to the 12 knew what the 70 doesn't know, and the 70 knows what the 120 or 130 or whatever the number is don't know. The crowd also doesn't know what the 70 knows. And even among the 12, the 3 got to know what the 12 don't know. Listen, compartmentalize the sharing or the disclosure of issues. Let them all be driven by the level of intimacy that exists. It is dangerous to show to the crowd what only the 3 should know. It is dangerous to carry what only the 3 should know and show to the 12. You must practice the principle of discretion. That only to the extent to which someone is intimately close to you should the person be able to know the things that are very intimate to you. The worst thing that can happen is for you to be so blinded to who your adversary is and consider your adversary to be your friend. It's the worst thing that happens to some of us who are leaders. That your adversary has the capacity to pretend and disguise, camouflage, and behave like this person is my true friend. And then you go all the way, you're sharing your details and everything with the person, only to find out that you were really pouring out so much in the hands of the wrong person. So relationships are not of equal value. You must be able to use your discretion to determine which relationships are of greater value. And value is not about how much they bring to the table. Value should be measured by your own values. I've always stated, and I'm going to say that again, relationship determines the inflow or the outflow of wisdom. The inflow or the outflow of wisdom from your life is determined by who you keep in close proximity. If you surround yourself with what the Bible calls fools, the Bible says that a companion of fools will be destroyed. But he that walks with the wise shall become wise. So the inflow of wisdom is determined by who you associate with, wise people. The inflow of foolishness and the exit of wisdom is also predicated on allowing yourself to be surrounded by fools, influenced by fools. Favor is also determined by who you're surrounded with. Once you're surrounded with the right kinds of people, what happens is that it opens the door for favor to flow into your life. But once you're surrounded with the wrong kinds of people, it blocks the flow of favor. It minimizes the operation of favor in your life. It therefore requires that you are very meticulous, intentional about who you keep so close. There are 7 reasons why you need to value relationships. 7 reasons why you need to be very committed to the process of finding the right persons in your life. 7 major reasons. Number 1, relationship minimizes your weakness. When you are in the right relationships, it minimizes your weakness. When you marry the right person, the person masks your weakness using their strength. So relationship minimizes the exposure of your weakness. Relationship minimizes the exposure of your weakness. So the Bible says, if one falls, the other shall lift him up. So if there's an area where you are lacking in, when you are in good relationship with the right person, the presence of that person will mitigate the operation of weakness through your life. So relationships actually have the capacity to minimize your weakness and multiply your results. You want to write that down. Relationship multiplies your result. The right relationship multiplies your result. It minimizes your weakness. It multiplies your results. 2 are better than 1. 1 will chase 1,000. 2 will chase 10,000. So you can see that relationship multiplies your results and minimizes your weakness. One of the beautiful things about relationship is the fact that it increases your impact. Relationship increases your impact. The difference you can make in life. It's very important to know that if you are in the right relationship, you have the right network, you are connected to the right husband or wife, and you have the right people around you, it can scale your impact. You can do much more with the right people around you. You can accomplish much more with the right people around you. So relationship increases your impact. But beyond that, it also accelerates your influence. When you have the right people in your life, One of the things that relationship does is that it accelerates your influence. Your influence grows. Steadily and surely, your influence grows. It is more reason why you need to take relationship matters seriously. Relationship increases your progress. Relationship increases your progress. Once you are in the right relationship, progress is accelerated. Progress is facilitated. Your progress is enhanced. Relationship minimizes your errors. Not only does it eliminate or minimize your weakness, it minimizes your errors. Your chances of making too many mistakes in life are reduced when you have the right relationship in your life, and you allow such people, you allow the people in your life to also contribute to your life. One of the things that I love about relationship is the fact that it helps to maximize your potential. Relationship helps to maximize your potential. These are some of the reasons why you need to give attention to the subject on relationship. One of the challenges we have discovered, however, is that many of us, as much as we even know about these benefits of relationship, many of us are unable to enjoy them because of the different obstacles we are dealing with or we've had to deal with in our lives. And some of us find it difficult to enjoy the benefits of relationship because of the obstacles that I'm about to mention to you today. One of the major reasons why people don't get to enjoy their relationships is because of what we call emotional immaturity. Oh yes, you just heard me. This is going to be very powerful right now. Emotional immaturity. It is the epidemic of immature behaviors amongst adults who are in relationship. It's a serious epidemic that is plaguing many adults in relationship. That although you are advanced in age, you have grown older, but you've not grown up. You have added numbers, but you've not become wiser. You are in control of position, talents, and gifts, but you lack control over your temperament, over your behaviors, over your attitude. Emotional immaturity. I told you it's going to be very tough today. We want to knock down this barrier of emotional immaturity. It's robbing a lot of us. It's robbing us of the quality of relationships we should be having. And by the way, I'm sure they're going to put out the Zoom link very soon. I'll let you know when they'll be putting out the Zoom link, so that if you have any question, concerns, and you want me to attend to that, we will open up the Zoom link. You will have the opportunity of coming live to ask me your questions. Glory be to God. Go ahead, please. I'd like you to like. Those of you who are watching on any platform, go ahead, like, share, and just go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and like it and share it so that others can be blessed and know that we are live today. Listen to what Paul the Apostle said in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 in verse 11. Paul said, "When I became a man, I put away childish things." Please, I'd like you to give attention to that. This is Paul the Apostle speaking. Paul said, it got to a moment in my life. I came to a point where I said to myself, this is too childish. My behaviors are too childish. My thinking is childish. My talking is childish. My attitude is childish. My behaviors, my reactions, very childish. Paul said, I examined myself and I realized that it's not the fault of the people that I'm blaming for triggering me. It is the fact that I can be triggered. It is the fact that I am still very childish. It is the fact that little things like that can still bother me. And Paul said, I got to that moment in my life when I had to make up my mind to put off childish things. And this is an invitation to you and I today to begin to look inwards and begin to ask ourselves these practical questions. How much of childish behaviors do I still have as an adult? Emotional immaturity. How much of childish thinking, childish ways of thinking, 20-year-old way of thinking in a 50-year-old adult, 16-year-old way of thinking in an adult who is over 40 years old. You are 40 years old, but you've not dropped the way you used to think, the way you used to talk, the way you used to behave. You've not dropped the attitude of 16. You've not dropped the behavior of your 17s, your 20s. You've only advanced in age, but you've not grown up. Oh, I see someone says, sir, you're talking to me. Someone says, sir, you are talking to me. Wow. Listen, this will change marriages. This will change relationships. If you have a friend that needs to be here right now, you're tired of resolving conflict, you're tired of trying to fix issues, even in the office, get your friends on board. I'm talking about emotional immaturity in adults. You've celebrated your 40th birthday to celebrate the fact that you have aged. But we are still seeing the baby in an old person, the grossly immature person dressed up in the age of an adult. Behaviors haven't changed, tendencies haven't shifted, reactions are still the same. What triggered you when you were small still triggers you today. What bothered you when you were 22, 23, same thing still bothers you today. What nobody can talk about and go scot-free when you were 19, nobody can still talk about it today and go scot-free because you've not grown. And as I speak this way, I'm sure you can look around you and you know somebody who perhaps has advanced in age but has not matured at all. So maturity is not a function of age. Maturity is not a function of age. It is the ability to delay reaction and gratification controlled. How are you able to manage your reaction? How are you able to manage your emotions? How are you able to self-govern yourself, self-regulate yourself, self-governance and self-regulation? I'm not talking about repression. I'm not saying you are angry but behaving like you are not. I'm not saying that you are bitter but pretending to be better. No. I'm saying you have a perspective, a new world look. You have a new mindset that doesn't even require that you are bitter at all. Because again, you've come to a conclusion that every human being is entitled to their opinion. So whatever you say and think about me, that's your opinion. I know who I am. So I'm no longer bothered by your expression of ignorance. I'm only bothered that you are so ignorant. Think about the fact that you look at me now and you call me. For instance, someone just looks at me now and say, hey, look at this elephant. If you call me an elephant, honestly, it doesn't bother me because I am not one. I'm not confused about my identity. I'm matured. I know who I is. Permit my language. I know I'm not shopping for compliments. I'm not shopping around for your likes or your votes. I'm not asking you to define me. I didn't come into the public domain to be defined by you. I was given a name by my Father, and I'm given a name also by my Heavenly Father. He calls me his righteousness. My Heavenly Father calls me the apple of his eyes. I mean, I know what my Heavenly Father calls me. So to call me what my biological father doesn't call me, to call me what my Heavenly Father doesn't call me, and by the way, beyond what my Father calls me and my Heavenly Father, I know what I call me. I love me. I like me. And I've been able to look at me, and I also told myself who I is. I've been able to tell myself who I am. So to call me anything contrary to what I know about me doesn't bother me. What really bothers me is your level of ignorance. My worry is your state of mind. Are you okay to look at a human being and call the person an elephant? First of all, what's going on in your mind? That's the way I think. So I'm compassionate. I'm concerned for you. Because to look at a human being and associate the person with an animal, call the person a dog, call the person a goat, call the person... My worry is, are you in a zoo? Okay, maybe a better question. Maybe not, are you in a zoo, or is the zoo in you? So you see, that's how I think. So emotionally matured people are not triggered by what used to trigger them. Oh, glory be to God Almighty. Now here's the point. When you are matured, people's opinion about you doesn't really bother you. Does that mean you're not open to being corrected? Does that mean you're not open to receiving feedback, positive feedbacks, or whatever kind of feedback for personal growth? You are open. In fact, it takes maturity to be able to receive feedback and process such feedbacks for your personal good. But I'm saying you're dealing with a critic and you're bothered by that critic. At certain level of maturity, your critics don't bother you. So emotional maturity is very critical. Today we have a lot of emotionally immature individuals who are in relationship. We're talking about the epidemic of individuals who can't self-regulate, who can't self-govern themselves, but they are in relationship with you, and the only thing they do is to hurt you. That's all they do. So what is emotional immaturity? Emotional immaturity is the inability to manage your emotions responsibly. Emotional immaturity is the inability to manage your emotions responsibly. It is the inability to engage in empathy. You are unable to feel with others. When someone around you is in pain, it doesn't bother you. You don't care about that. You even talk down, invalidates their pain. Emotional immaturity is the inability to resolve conflicts creatively. Emotional immaturity is the inability to resolve conflicts creatively. Let me say this. Conflict is normal in life, and conflict is necessary for us to see that we are different in the way we look at the world. And it is when conflict ensues with maturity, we are able to see from each other's point of view, and we're able to at certain point harmonize, diffuse our concepts, perspectives, and worldviews. You didn't come from my background. I didn't come from your background. You don't have my education. I don't have your education. You don't have my exposure, I don't have your exposure. But here we are. We are in the same boat called marriage or relationship, but we come from different backgrounds, different exposure. So the boat becomes a place where our backgrounds are going to conflict. We're going to have conflict of background, but we don't necessarily need to be in a state of crisis because our worldviews don't look alike. It's an opportunity through maturity to be able to say, oh, let me see, share with me what you think. Let me see how you feel. Let me see how you think. And we're able to create an environment whereby, because we're going on a long ride together, we're able to create an atmosphere where we can blend our perspectives. We can harmonize our worldviews. We can allow diffusion of perspectives. It is what marriage is all about. It's what relationship is all about. Emotional immaturity is the inability to manage triggers. Oh, anytime you push that little button, my God, anytime somebody pokes you in that same, that is the same spot. Anytime matters touch on this, anytime somebody touches on this thing, it is, even the devil has known that, look, all he needs to do is to get someone to come and poke you right on the same spot. You need to get to a point in your life like Jesus. After Jesus rose again from the dead and he appeared to the disciples in the room, and Thomas said to him, Master, I don't believe you're the one. Jesus said, no problem. Jesus said, come put your finger, Thomas, I think he said, if I can put my finger right into your nail prints. So Jesus said, come do that. And he put his finger right through the nail prints. This was the same nail print that made Jesus to cry a few days before, when the nail was being pierced through his hand, was being driven through his hand. Jesus cried. But here we are, after Jesus had risen again. Here we see Thomas putting his finger through that same. You know, I'm talking about the same thing that always gets you upset. This was not Jesus trying to pretend like it doesn't hurt. Jesus said, come put your finger in it. Come talk to me the way you normally talk to me before. And you get to realize that it doesn't matter. Because honestly, it's not that I'm pretending that what you're saying doesn't bother me. I've grown in my worldview. So what you're saying to me doesn't bother me anymore, because I'm more concerned about you. I'm concerned about your state of mind. I'm concerned about your well-being. I'm worried about what is influencing your perspective. So Jesus told Peter and Thomas, he said, come put your finger there. And Thomas came to put his finger right through the nail prints of Jesus. You know what I love about Jesus? Jesus looked at him and he said, it hurts no more. It hurts. It doesn't trigger me anymore. Yes, it made me cry the first time it happened to me. It made me cry the second day perhaps. But it hurts no more. You're wasting your time if you think poking this is going to make me cry again. No. Oh, hallelujah. I see somebody typing, it hurts no more. That's where I'm taking you to. That's where God is taking you to. It hurts no more. That you want to get to that point where it hurts no more. You want to get to that point in your life where such attitude doesn't bother you anymore. You want to get to that moment where you want to get to that moment in your life where such reactions, such attitudes that usually would trigger you, make you sleepless at night. No, it doesn't hurt me anymore. And it's not because I've become insensitive. It's just because I have shifted what normally concerns me. Usually I'm concerned about me because when I was not matured and I was very self-protective, I was image conscious. When I didn't know who I was, when I didn't understand my identity, at that moment, anything you call me can bother me. But now, no, I've grown. I know who I am. And such things hurts no more. Emotional immaturity is the inability to take responsibility. You just find it difficult to take responsibility. These are some of the reasons why relationships are in a mess today. The unwillingness to take responsibility. We call it diversionary tactics. You constantly have a way of making sure that when you are wrong, when you do something wrong, rather than just simply say, I am sorry, you will blame shift, you will shift blame, you will find ways to, make the other person feel guilty so that you can feel less guilty. I mean, everything possible. So emotional immaturity is the inability to take on responsibility. It is the inability to respond with self-control. So you end up reacting rather than responding. One of the ways by which you know someone who is emotionally immature is that the person's emotional intelligence quotient is very low. The person's emotional intelligence quotient is very low. The person is unaware of your own emotions, unaware of their own, can't regulate their own emotions, and don't know how to respond to your own emotions. We're talking about emotional immaturity, how all of that affects our relationships today. One of the major obstacles to having a healthy relationship. Let me say this. When emotional immaturity is involved, conflicts become harder to resolve. Have you been in a relationship with someone that, oh my God, just look at the issue. Can we just resolve? Oh no, the person must blow it up because the person must feel good about themselves, make you feel bad about yourself. For them, it's about winning arguments instead of winning relationships. For them, it's about the fear of being blamed, because all through growing up processes, these individuals have been exposed to being blamed. So again, it's grown to adulthood. There's always a need to make sure that I don't get blamed again. So you have a situation whereby issues that needs to be properly resolved are not resolved because of emotional immaturity. The desire to be right, drives emotional immature people. The desire to be right than the desire for the relationship to be better. So I would rather be right than for our relationship to be better. For me, compromise is not part of the rules. Winning is the rule. I must be seen. And whenever a case becomes so glaring that you are wrong, you see them, they start throwing tantrums. They either go into withdrawal, they go into mood swings and all of that. Because again, life is all about winning arguments, superimposing their wrongs on what is right. And it is so dysfunctional that the dysfunction is not noticed by the person who carries the dysfunction. It is very strange to tell a pig that you are dirty. For a pig in a mud, it's home. The mud is home to a pig. So to tell a pig that this is bad, you're dirty, the pig doesn't see that, because this is home. But the stain of mud on a cart The car is going to be looking for ways to clean it up. Again, because that is foreign to the car. So for someone who's been used to dysfunctionalities, for someone who has been used to abuse, for someone who's been used to a conflict-ridden environment, creating another one, even in a healthy environment, is natural. Because creating such instability is what makes the person stable. Oh my goodness. Have you found individuals who find stability in creating instability? Have you found individuals who feel very comfortable in creating an uncomfortable environment? I'm talking about Jonas who can sleep in the midst of a storm that they create. They are the most peaceful when they've turned your world upside down. When you are in a state of crisis, wondering what in the world is going on here, that's when they are at their best. They are sleeping, they are enjoying their lives. Why? They've been able to create a dysfunctional environment that powers their existence. Wow. They will rather, listen, emotionally immature people, they will rather defend themselves, find a way to defend themselves, bring you down if necessary, create chaos in the relationship, pull heaven and earth down just to make sure that they come out of it unblamed. You get that right? They will rather defend themselves than ask a simple question. What did I not get right? How can I make it better? Teach me how to love you. Teach me how to serve you. You hardly, this is how to know emotionally immature people. You hardly can ever find them ask questions that leads to becoming better. Oh, sorry, what can I do to improve in serving you? What would you love me to do for you? How can I be of better service to you? No. You see, because there's the internalization in the mind of an emotionally immature person. There's the internalization of feeling small if I ask you such a question. Oh my goodness. I'm sure this is getting across to you. We need to grow. We need to get better. Let me share with you 7 signs you can use to know that you are in relationship with an emotionally immature man. All the women, get ready now. Yes, women, let's go for the men now. And if you care about any man, this is a time to tag him. Let him come and hear from another man, so that you're not like the one trying to, insult him. All right? So if you're smart enough, quickly share and let a man you care about in your office, in your life, your brother, your husband, fiance, whatever, get them on board right now, because this is going to help you. How do you know an emotionally immature man? Because an emotionally immature man will cost you so much pain, will cause you so much pain in relationship. And I know you understand what I'm saying. When you are in relationship with an emotionally immature man, I don't get to know how much money he's got. I don't get to know where he works. I don't get to know if he graduated with a first class or distinction in anything, because this is not about intellect now. If you are in relationship with an emotionally mature man, it will cost you so much pain. It will cause you so much pain. How do you know if the guy you're in relationship with is immature, emotionally immature? Now, I just want to share with you some things that can give you some guides to begin to think. By no means am I trying to diagnose. But we're saying that from all the studies that we have done, these are prevailing signs that shows that an individual perhaps is dealing with emotional immaturity. Number one, here we go now for the man. How do you know the man? He makes foolish decisions with great consequences repeatedly. Just likes making just makes foolish decisions with great consequences and does it all the time. Emotional immaturity. How do you know a man who is not emotionally matured? How do you know him? Makes foolish decisions with great consequences repeatedly. Takes his old salary, takes your savings account. When you people are saving money towards your wedding, you get to know that, hey, listen, the money is gone. What happened? He went to play gamble. He wants to double the money. So he went to gamble and gambled away the money. And oh, he's so sorry. He won't do it again. And then he does it again. And then again. And again. In marriage, the same thing. The person takes money and without a recourse to you and him talking, carries the money and makes foolish decisions that cost you and your family so much money. Impulsively, the person will just say, oh, sorry, we need to move into this kind of business. We need to move to this location. And these decisions are not properly thought through. And that's how, in most cases, decisions are made. We make some moves, we invest in some things, we take some steps, and eventually, all the steps repeatedly, we end up going through pain. Someone said, I understand what is going on here. How do you know an emotionally immature man? He avoids taking responsibilities for the risk he took, for the mistakes he made, for the poor choices or judgments he made. Constantly will avoid taking responsibilities for choices made, poor choices, poor judgments. Will never accept the fact that, look, I made a mistake. Will never want to acknowledge the fact that I made a foolish risk. I took a foolish risk. Always finding it difficult to accept responsibility for poor choices, poor judgments, poor decisions. And it happens again and again. That's one of the ways by which you're an emotionally immature person. Rather than say, oh, I'm very sorry I put us into this kind of situation. I just want you to forgive me. And I promise you that I'm bringing all of us out of it. We're all coming out of this by the grace of God. Rather than own up, accept this responsibility. No. Somebody said, once my ex sold cement, yet we were building our own house. Right? Or somebody just said now, or he sends the whole money to his family, donating to his community groups so he can look good. Meanwhile, you are all suffering at home. The family is in a mess financially, but he's trying to keep up with good image outside and reputation out there. And so the person is constantly making foolish choices in the area of finances. I can see the woman speaking right now. I hope the men are getting ready. I'm talking about foolish decisions. Let me be very sure that we have Eva and Chinedu and Pastor Judith. I hope our Kenyan coordinators. I just want to be sure they are online so that we can get to attend to some questions. So how do you know an emotionally immature man? He hardly forgives. He hardly forgives and hardly apologizes for wrong decisions or wrongdoings. Hardly apologizes and hardly forgives. You did something wrong yesterday, you apologize for it. No. Is he going to talk about it? Is he going to tell you how offended he is? How that thing cost him so much? Hardly ever forgives. And on the same twist, you find this person hardly ever apologizes when it is the same person that does you wrong. So whether it's apology, offering, the offering of apology, or accepting apology, this person is not just good at any of them. How do you know a man who is emotionally immature? Such a person ignores you, and such a person also isolates you from your families and your friends. Very, very practical way by which you know somebody who is emotionally mature. Likes to isolate you from your family members and friends. Never comfortable with seeing people who can unmask him or her. Never comfortable seeing them around you. An emotionally immature man likes to shield you away, disconnect you, isolate you from people that have the potential to unmask who he is. How do you know an emotionally immature man? Lacks emotional and sexual discipline. An emotionally immature man lacks what we call emotional discipline and sexual discipline. He surrenders all the time like a slave to his sexual feelings. Whenever there is a sex drive, whenever there's a sexual urge, whenever there is a sexual desire, it must be satisfied like a slave. This person must surrender all the time to sexual desires, either pornographically, or the person will masturbate, or the person will go out and look for prostitutes and the rest of that. There is no emotional control, no sexual control. Emotionally immature men can't say no to their sexual desires. Emotionally immature men find it difficult to say no to their sexual desires. If it's with a secretary in the office, they will do it. If it's in the car, they have an opportunity, they will do it. On the road, they will do it. Samson was an example of a man who was emotionally immature, and it shows in the area of his sexual indiscipline. We also saw that in the life of David, and then we saw the fullness of it in the life of Solomon. Sexually, he lacked the discipline. Even after God said, don't pick women from such a place, Solomon consistently violated God's instruction. Solomon consistently violated God's instruction. So how do you know a man that is emotionally immature? Whenever there is an opportunity for sex, he goes. He just goes. Sight response, touch response. Somebody touches, he goes. He sees, he goes. He feels, he goes. So there's no sexual discipline. Number 6, how do you know an emotionally immature man? Such a person is easily influenced negatively by family members and friends. Easily manipulated, easily controlled, easily influenced by family members and friends against his own family, against his own marriage, against his own partner. He will rather listen to friends and family members, and in a bid to please them, in a bid to be in their good books, he will rather offend his own partner, his own wife, his own spouse, because he's emotionally immature. How do you know an emotionally immature man? Verbally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and sexually highly abusive. Very, very abusive. Psychologically, emotionally, physically, very, very abusive. That's how to know an emotionally immature person. I see the woman excited right now. Very quickly, can we touch on the woman? How do you know an emotionally immature woman? How do you know her? Men, let's get right into it right now so that you can also get to know that, okay, if this woman is just emotionally immature. Now, does that mean you throw the person away? Well, that is going to be a high judgment you have to make. If you're married, you can walk on your partner. And of course, if the person you're trying to get married shows all of these signs, does that mean you should throw the person away? Well, you will have to make a tough decision. But the reality of it is you can also choose to say, well, listen, I've observed this kind of immaturity that has been displayed. Is it something you want us to walk on? If the person is willing to walk on it and become better, why not? Give the person a chance. Watch, see the person commit to growing, and the person is actually growing before you start thinking about, should we get married or not? What are some of the signs that you can use to know an emotionally immature woman? Number one, she is highly self-centered. Highly self-centered. She will praise you when you do things for her. When everything is in her interest, money is coming, she's having fun. For as long as everything serves her, oh no, everything in the family is going to be okay. Everything in the relationship is going to be okay. She is highly self-centered. But the day it doesn't go her way, she will condemn and criticize you. She will shake up the environment. She will make the environment unbearable. She will create a toxic environment. For her, it is a skill. It is a skill. She's mastered the art. If it's not going my way, I'm going to make the environment unbearable for him. I'm going to so ignore him. I will so demean him. I will so act in ways that will let him know that this house is not convenient for you and I. I will talk to him in ways that will make him be wondering, what's going on? Can I rush down to the place and see you? What's happening? I will make him be wondering, what has he done wrong when he's done nothing wrong? Somebody said, I swear this is happening to me right now. All right. I'm talking to you about how to know an emotionally immature woman. She will condemn and criticize you, make life unbearable for you when things don't go her ways. Yes. Even if she's your friend as a woman. As a woman, you have such a lady as a friend? Oh no. Trust me. Happy moments only when it's all about satisfying her. But everything will lose its coordinate when it doesn't go her way. Number two, she hardly forgives and never admits wrongdoings. She finds it difficult to apologize. She finds it difficult to admit her wrongdoings. She finds it difficult to apologize. No way. She will rather explain things away. She will rather bring up issues that are unrelated just to escape apology. She has so mastered it that she has become blinded by it, that she doesn't even know that everyone around her knows that that is her dysfunction. And she relies on it and doesn't know how it betrays her. Hardly forgives. Emotionally immature woman. She is very forgetful and ungrateful during moments of temporal discomfort. Have you met such an emotionally immature woman? She is forgetful and ungrateful during moments of temporal discomfort. Just a little moment when things are uncomfortable. Maybe there's a little bit of delay. You're waiting for some things. You're unable to get some things, or you're trying to achieve some things that have not come through. Oh my God. In those moments of temporal discomfort, she will make life unbearable. And she may even go ahead and say things to you that makes you feel like you've never done anything in your life. I'm talking about individuals who, in one moment of discomfort, they can forget everything you've done over the years. Emotionally immature women. In one moment, you forget everything the man has done. You forget all the labor, all the effort, all the sacrifice. That's why you hear a woman make statements like, "What is it you've even done for me?" What have you ever even done for me? And the man is looking at her, really? Somebody's there, I normally pack everything. Wow. These are all signs of emotional immaturity. Very, very insecure, highly insecure and aggressive towards high-flying women who come around you. That's how to know an emotionally insecure woman. One major sign you can use to know. Check such a woman. She is grossly uncomfortable when people who are a little bit more educated, more complexioned, more advantage in height, whatever makes a woman more of what she has, what she knows, it makes her feel uncomfortable. And here's what's going to happen. She will do everything to attack that person. And if you don't get rid of the person, she will turn the attack on you. It's the very classic sign of emotional immaturity. Very insecure, very aggressive towards high-flying women. She will rather be surrounded by women who are submissive and subdued by her presence. But anybody that sounds different, anyone that seems to question authority, even if it's her daughter, even if it's her son, oh no, she's not going to take that lightly. Very aggressive, highly insecure towards anybody who is a high-flying person around such a person. Oh Lord. How do you know an emotionally immature woman? She turns anything that looks different, and she turns conflicts, moments of conflict of ideas, when our ideas don't agree and we're trying to find a common ground, she turns it into combat moment. Discussions can be discussions, they must be combats. Because again, don't forget, an emotionally immature person wants to subdue, wants to win. So when we're supposed to iron out, converse, bring out your point, share with me your thoughts, your perspective, such moments must be turned into combat moment. And it is the reason why some men avoid conversation with such women, because their proclivity towards turning conversations to combat makes men who are averse to such environments, to such atmospheres, to avoid conversation with such women. How do you know an emotionally immature woman? She is high on nagging, very high on nagging, but very low on communication. Just nag around. I don't know what is going on. Just talk. No coordinated. Nothing is coordinated. No point is being made. High on nagging, low on communication. Can we sit down and talk? Can we talk about this matter? Can we find a common ground? Can we resolve it? Okay, which way are we supposed to know? It's about the yelling. It's about the screaming. It's about the shouting. It's about, just creating a very toxic environment. High on nagging, low on communication. Similarly, an emotionally immature person, particularly a woman, is also high when we come to verbal, physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. We have discovered by research that the same thing happens also to women. Women can be verbally abusive. Verbally, and women can be psychologically, and they can also be emotionally abusive. And I'm talking about emotionally immature women. Now, so Reverend Sam, how do I transit to becoming an emotionally matured man? How do I transit to becoming an emotionally matured man? Maybe the first thing I need to do is to share with you the signs of an emotionally matured man. If you want to become an emotionally matured man, here is a simple thing you need to realize. Number one, an emotionally matured man is accountable. He is sensible and responsible. Accountable, sensible, and responsible. An emotionally matured man is accountable, sensible, and responsible. He is not afraid to say, I'm sorry, I'm responsible for that. He is not afraid to say, I take responsibility for my action. I'm sorry for the pain that I've caused you. I never knew it was going to turn out this way. Please forgive me. An emotionally matured man is not afraid to face difficult conversation. Neither is he ashamed to cry out for help. An emotionally matured man is not afraid to say, help me. An emotionally matured man is not afraid to look at his wife and say, can you teach me how to love you? An emotionally matured man is not afraid of difficult conversation. How did you spend the money? Oh no, I'll tell you, you're my wife. You deserve to know. I don't feel accused. I don't feel monitored. You want to know, you have the right to know. It's not afraid of difficult conversation. Number three, an emotionally matured man doesn't suppress or repress his emotions. He doesn't suppress or repress his feelings, his thoughts. He accepts and expresses them freely and wisely. He's not afraid to tell his wife how he feels. An emotionally matured man is not afraid to tell, or is not inhibited from telling, a woman he is in relation, I love you, you're beautiful, you look nice. He doesn't hold that back. I was talking with a man recently and he said, Reverend Sam, isn't it amazing to know that I always shower praises on my wife? He said, sir, I can't remember in the last 10 years when my wife looked at me and made me feel that she's proud of me. Look at me and make me feel that she's proud of me. He said, but I do that all the time. He said, there is no reciprocity in this relationship. How do you know an emotionally matured man? He is committed to learning, growing, and developing. An emotionally matured man is not static. He's a learner. Keep growing, keep learning, keep reading books. Wants to be a better version of himself. Wants to be better than his father, better than those who are around him. He wants to be the best man that God has made him to be. That's how to know an emotionally matured man. Always exposing himself to the world of learning. Always attending programs, courses, and an emotionally matured man will be on this program. I'm telling you that. An emotionally matured man is not afraid of sitting down with his wife and watching another man teach. But how do you know an emotionally immature man? One of the ways by which you know an emotionally immature man is the fact that whenever there's an opportunity like this to learn, in order to make his wife feel like he is all right, he will say, well, all this is there, I don't have time for. He will find a way to talk away the importance of what he needs to learn. He is ignorant of them. He is causing problems, repeating mistakes. The only thing he will not do is sit down and learn. Can you help me celebrate all the men, all the women who are here? Would you help me go ahead and say thank you, man? Thank all the men who are here. I want the women to say thank you to you. I mean, all the women, go ahead and tell our men, thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead and celebrate the men. Honestly, it's not common for men to sit down and listen to another man. It's not common. So come on. Oh, I love the way Pamela puts it. She said, big ups, man. That's it. Big ups, man. I see some of you clapping for our men. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you so much. We honor all the men. That's from Pamela. We honor all the men. Thank you for joining us. Morera, thank you so much for telling the men that. Very true. I tell you, there's something about men that makes it difficult for them to sit down and be taught by another man. So all the men on this platform, please celebrate them for me. And if your husband is here today and is watching, hello, woman of God, your husband is watching this program and he's even taking notes and he's relaxed and he's not pressing playing with his phone. You mean your husband is watching? Woman of God, on our behalf, would you give him a very tight hug? Go ahead right now, please. On behalf of Reverend Sam and Pastor Mary Oye, go ahead and hug that man for me. And give him a kiss that he won't forget give him a deep kiss that he won't forget for the rest of his life. Give it to him and tell him, see you tonight. And tonight you're going to give him something you've never given him before, and all you're saying is, thank you, sweetheart. I'm giving you this tonight for being a wise man who chooses to learn so that our marriage can be better. Oh, go look at that. Men, the women are praising you. Oh my goodness. Come on. Let's get the men to watch. Only a proud man, and an ignorant man for that matter, will not sit down to be taught. You know what such people say? Who doesn't have problem in their marriage, including that man talking? He has problem. Yes, sir. We've had problems in our marriages, and we've been able to learn, and we've been able to grow. We've been able to outgrow it, and that's why we're teaching others. And those that we are teaching, their marriages are becoming better. So you are absolutely correct. We've had problem in our marriages. We've overcome them. Oh, by the way, maybe I forgot to also tell you that as we grow, as we keep growing in life and in ministry, we're also meeting new challenges. But you know what, sir? With the same courage and grace with which we overcame the other challenges when we're growing up, we are also meeting the challenges of today with wisdom. And so we keep forging ahead. It's over 24 years now. We're moving on. How do you know an emotionally matured man? He honors and upholds the integrity of the vows and the promises he made. If you have a single man who meets you and say, I want to marry you, and he says, look, you are the person I want to marry, you can go to sleep knowing that you will never hear that such a man is speaking to another woman. That's an emotionally matured man. There's no twice timing. There's no twice timing for an emotionally matured man. He doesn't have a situation where he's speaking to you and speaking to another woman at the same time, because he's an emotionally matured man who honors his promise. That's how to know an emotionally matured man. But how do you not know an emotionally immature man? He doesn't keep his promise. Doesn't keep the vow that he made to his wife. I vow to do this and to do that, and then he's with another woman right now. That's an emotionally immature man. How do you know an emotionally matured man? He is extremely focused purpose driven. He knows his priorities and is very decisive, extremely focused. An emotionally matured man is extremely focused. His attention is not broken. Concentrates on concentrating. He focuses on his priorities. Such a man is very decisive. When it's time to act, he is not afraid, neither does he delay in making sound decisions and take sound actions or take the right actions. When it's time to do it, he takes the right steps. He doesn't date a woman. He doesn't keep a woman on the dating platform, courting a woman for 7 years, 8. No. He knows what he's looking for. It doesn't take him time to know. I've seen what I'm looking for. So within a short time, he can make a decision. You are the one I want to marry. I've checked you in the last 6 months, in the last 12 months max. And I know you are the woman. He's decisive. An emotionally matured man is very decisive. And don't mistake spiritual maturity for emotional maturity. A man can speak in tongues. A man can know how to speak in tongues and see angels and all of that, but is emotionally immature, incapable of making sound judgment, right decisions, particularly with respect to relationship, when it matters the most. How do you know an emotionally matured man? He never compares you with another woman. He never compares you with another woman. That's who an emotionally matured man is. Never compares you with another woman. Very quickly as I round up, how do you know an emotionally matured woman? And how can you transit to become one of them? How do you know an emotionally matured woman? She is emotionally connected, but not emotionally dependent on her partner. Did you hear that? She is emotionally connected to her partner, but not emotionally dependent on her partner for her joy, for her peace. No. She's not depending on him to be happy. She's not depending on him to be joyful. She's not depending on him to be safe. Emotionally, she's connected, but not totally dependent. She's a woman who knows who she is. She's a woman who knows who she is. Number two, she doesn't use blames or aggression to get the man's attention. Oh, mama, did you hear that? How do you know an emotionally matured woman? She doesn't use blame or aggression to get a man's attention. She doesn't use aggression to get attention. She doesn't use aggression to get affection. So both affection and attention, she doesn't use aggression to get them. You want the man to be in love with you. You want the man to speak to you. Tell him what you want. Don't use aggression. Somebody said, what an evening am I having here today? Wow. I'm glad that I hope it's adding value to you. I hope you're finding this very useful. So I'm going to give you the room. I think you can put the Zoom link out because I'm going to open the door for people to ask questions right now. She's not afraid. She's not afraid to apologize for her wrongs. She's not afraid to accept correction where and when it is necessary without making it personal. Oh, I'm sorry. I never knew that. I apologize. She's willing to accept correction without taking it personal. How do you know an emotionally matured woman? Very quick to apologize. Very quick to accept correction. She knows who she is and she knows who she is worth. She's not intimidated by the differences of other women. She knows who she is and she knows what she is worth. She celebrates her difference. She's not intimidated by other women. No. That's why you need to get this book. You need to get Just Different. Every woman needs to get this book, Just Different, so you can relax in your marriage, relax in your relationship, and take care of your business, and don't mind the women out there. Just Different. You're going to figure out how to get it very shortly. The Zoom link will be out at the end of this broadcast. So she knows who she is, and she knows who she's worth. She's not intimidated by whoever has, because let me say this, woman, it's important for you to know that whatever you have, you will always find a woman who has more of that and less of that. It's the way God has made the universe. If you're tall, you're going to someday find a taller woman. If you're fair in complexion, you're going to find a fairer woman someday. Live long enough and you'll find a woman who has more of whatever it is you have. But you don't have to lose sense of who you are because of who has more of what you have. You're good enough. You are good enough. Now listen, very important now. Number 5, how do you know an emotionally matured woman? This is very powerful now. Keep this in mind. She thinks through before she talks or acts. She thinks through before she talks or before she acts. We call it mind over mouth. Mind over mouth. She thinks before she talks. She has trained herself to develop the mastery of thinking before talking. Not constantly talking before coming back to think. And by the time you are thinking, now you've destroyed a lot. You've said things that your partner can't forget. And the saddest part with people like that is that they find it difficult to truly come back to apologize. That makes it more complicated for this kind of individuals. That first, you know you have said the wrong things, and now you choose to be a wrong person by refusing to apologize. So an emotionally matured woman takes time to process her thoughts before she opens her mouth to speak. We call it delayed reaction. It's a sign of emotional intelligence. We say you have delayed capacity for delayed reaction, capacity for delayed gratification. She doesn't just act impulsively without thinking. Number 6, she is a treasure driven and not a pleasure seeker. She's a treasure driven person and not a pleasure seeker. She doesn't live her life pursuing pleasures that will pass away. She focuses on building treasures that will give her pleasure. Wise woman. Very wise woman. That's why the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 13, she buys lands. Can you see what she focuses her attention on? Lands. She buys lands and maybe build houses, and she has people who work for her. A virtuous woman. So we're saying that she is treasure driven, not pleasure driven. It's not about excessive liabilities and little or no assets. She understands that if I can build assets with my husband, if I can buy my own assets, from my assets I can fund my pleasure. She prepares for old age. She will rather begin to have all maximum pleasure as she grows older with ease than have all the pleasure in the early days of her life and suffer later. She is treasure driven. She recognizes and respects and honors the man in her life. She recognizes him, she respects him, and she honors him. These are some of the basic signs that you can use to know an emotionally matured woman. I know my time is up. And I will want to open it up right about now for questions. I know some of us have questions. I can see Chinedu and the wife, Pastor Chinedu. I can see you already, and you all look emotionally matured.
Thank you, Papa.
You all look emotionally matured. Maybe the bigger question I'll ask is no answers yet. We'll leave that for another day. Maybe the question I'll ask is who is more emotionally matured? Leave that for another day. Yes, but you are all emotionally matured, and I love that. All right. I know there must be some questions you want to ask me, and we're going to turn it open, and then maybe after you, we're going to check those who have their videos on the Zoom link. Only those who have their videos on, we're going to pick and allow to ask their questions. So go ahead, talk to me. What are the questions you have?
Papa, thank you so very much. I mean, it's really been lots of learning. Every day we keep learning and drinking from this wine. Thank you so much, Papa. I mean, from the day one you started this program, questions have been pouring into our phones because we decided to share our contact out there. This particular question is very lengthy. I think it's from one of the people in diaspora. I will just paraphrase. I think it's related again to emotional intelligence. She has been in 2 relationships and has given birth to 2 kids to 2 different men and has abandoned her education because of that. But she says these men just want to have her around. They're not willing to commit to to marriage. And as a matter of fact, they beat her to pulp. And that has led her to leave them. And she's saying, what do I do in this situation? I feel men only value me as casual friends, and they're not willing to commit to relationships.
Okay. Thank you so much. Very painful situation. Men always get to use her to satisfy their sexual pleasure, which again is evidenced by the fact that she has 2 children for 2 different men. It's a very painful scenario, and I truly sympathize with this woman. I empathize actually with her, and no man should be treating you that way. Nobody should be treating you that way. And honestly, I just want to say something that maybe will trigger you out of this state of being. Hello, ma'am. Please don't forget that it is availability to such users, such wasters, such plunderers, such emptiers. It is your availability to them that has led to the continuity of their acts and their behaviors towards you. Your continual availability, by making yourself available to them, by making sure for whatever reason you keep going back to them. It's the reason why you keep experiencing the same thing. To want to experience a different thing when you keep doing the same thing is only wishful thinking. The only way to break this pattern is to make sure you put a pause or stop to it. They are not willing to make the commitment to become husbands, but here they are getting the values of a wife. They are getting the benefits of having you as a wife. Whenever they want you, they call you, you come. So why will this man want to marry you when in the first place they have you? You see, that's the point. That's why I started with availability. You are already available at no price. So there is no need for pursuit. No man is going to pursue what the man has already conquered. No man is going to spend his time pursuing what the man is already used to. And particularly if the man realizes that this is something that doesn't have any serious price on it, then the man doesn't even value it. So my counsel to you is to first of all have a means of livelihood that empowers you financially, because if you are financially disempowered or you are not empowered financially, then you may likely, because of that, have a recourse to this man. And if you keep going back to them for money, then of course they will always take advantage of that to continue what they are doing with you, because you are disempowered. You don't have what it takes. So my encouragement to you will be, one, make up your mind to find something you can be doing that will enable you to have a means of income. Get your family on board as a support system. Make sure you enter into a very solid, structured arrangement on how they will be taking care of their children. If they have to be sending the money into a particular account, let them be doing that. And if you need to get the law, if you need to get security agents involved or the government involved, so that it is structured and protected by law, do it so you don't have to be going to them to get the money. So withdraw your presence so that you can increase your value. You are too available. You are too available, and such availability demeans you, reduces you, makes you of no value to such men who in the first place are acting irresponsibly. Your continuous going to them, your continual going to them is fueling their irresponsible behavior. The cycle will be maintained until you break it. I hope this helps. Thank you so much.
Papa, thank you so very much, sir. That's very important. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think my wife might have one more question.
Okay.
This is very straight and direct, Papa. She says, or he says, please, my question is, how do one deal with someone who is emotionally scared that you have to live with forever?
Someone who is emotionally what?
Scared.
Scared?
No, scared. Like the person is unavailable.
Oh, scarce. Someone who's emotionally scarce. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You are in relationship with a man or woman. Is this a woman or a man asking this question?
So it doesn't seem, there's no gender to it.
Okay.
As a woman. As a woman.
The woman? Okay.
Okay. So you are in relationship with a man who is emotionally scarce.
Yeah.
You don't have a relationship. You don't have, I'm sorry, you don't have a relationship. Imagine if I sell you a car and there's no engine in it. What drives relationship? Isn't it funny to know that marriage is not even driven by praying in tongues? Emotions, the expression of emotions. I love you. You're amazing. Can I hold you? Can I hug you? Marriage is where emotions rules. So if you have marriage and there is no emotions, you have a car that doesn't have engine. You mean your partner can't express emotions? Can't tell you I love you, I feel good about you, I need you, this is how I'm feeling. There's no emotion. That's why I wrote this book, Overcoming Emotional Divorce. Please get it. Get it for as many couples as you can. Help marriages around you. It is happening. There is no marriage when there's no emotional connection. We're just pretending. Emotional connection is the life of a marriage. Without emotional connection, conversation will become formal. Living together will just make you all become like flatmates. When there's no emotional connection, you may all lay on the same bed, but there is no passion. Even sexual intimacy will be like punishment on one another. Emotional connection is very critical. It's what sustains a marriage. So I encourage that if you find yourself in that kind of situation where your partner is emotionally unavailable, number one, the person may not even be aware. Because for the person, he or she may have grown up in an environment where there was no emotional connection. So it's not strange to the person that the person is not emotionally connected to you. In fact, the person will be wondering, why I'm around? It's just that we are not connected. So you need to let the person know what you are feeling, and in a creative and constructive manner. When you are communicating your concerns, your feelings, remember to be emotionally matured. You want to say, sweetheart, look, I have noticed we are not connecting. And by the way, for someone who has never seen emotional connection before, when you say we are not connecting, the person will be wondering, what you'll be hearing things like, what have I not been doing? I've been giving you this. I've been doing this for you. When you talk about connection, that's when you hear the person talking about doing. Because as far as the person is concerned, that is what connection is all about. Because the person never grew up with such kind of thing.
But Papa, practically, they might want to ask.
Say it again.
Simply put, what is emotional connection? Just so that it's practical.
What is what?
Emotional connection.
Oh, simply emotional connection is simply the exchange of thoughts, feelings, concerns, fears, appreciation. It is just the inward expression of how I feel towards you and how I feel within me. That we create a room where such things easily flow. That I am not afraid of sharing that. Because don't forget, emotions are not tangible, but they generate tangible reactions, tangible response. Okay? So it is expressing how I feel towards you. That is why negative emotions they are expressed through anger, through bitterness, through resentment, and of course, that reaction creates a toxic environment. But then positive emotions, we express them through things like I just hold you, I tell you, I show you.
Wow.
I tell you how I feel about you. I love you. I'm so proud of you. I want you. I need you. For those who are married, that's when we're like, sweetheart, look, I need you tonight. That's when I spread my hands to hold you. It's the expression of how I feel. And the beautiful thing is that you create the environment for that to flourish. So there's connection, emotional connection. I can express how I feel, how I think, how I perceive you. What are my concerns, my fears, my worries? I can tell that to you without the fear of being reprimanded.
Oh.
There are men who are with their wives. They dare not. Oh Lord. They dare not. He may even, that's why you see some men, they wait until their wives are asleep.
Wow.
Oh yes. I deal with that a lot. Men will come and tell me, say, Pastor, the only time when I can approach her is when she's falling asleep or when she's already asleep. Say, because Pastor, if she look at you, you know, if you come from Africa, those of you who are from Africa, you know our parents don't have to talk. Just one look will redefine you. Just one look will redirect you. And there are women who have learned that from their parents. So they don't have to say so much, but they just look at you and it says much more. And there are men like that too. Body gestures and postures. We use them to communicate rejection to our partners. So I inhibit her, I hinder her from trying to express herself. When she thinks about what she will suffer if she expresses herself, she will hold back. And that's how gradually connections begin to die. And instead of that positive emotions, instead of that positive connection, now what we're going to start having is negative emotions finding expression in the relation, because I'm already bottling up pain, anger coming from rejection. The next thing is I'm going to start, we'll just take it in a very hostile way. Okay? Thank you so much. And who is on the line? Sharon? Go ahead. I see your video is on. Let me allow you ask your question. You're welcome, ma'am. We'll be back to the Chinedus very shortly. Can we have Sharon? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good to see you.
How is Nigeria today?
We are very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to find out. Recently, I was talking with some certain set of people, and what they seems to be saying. For example, one of them came to me, spoke to me concerning a friend of his who was introduced to a lady. And instantly the lady began to tell him that now that they are introduced and they're dating or stuff, he has to start taking care of her.
Huh?
So I was like, taking care of her in what ways? So that means he has to start paying her bills, ensuring that she's okay, and many other things that comes along in a relationship. And I just want to find out your take on this. When I know it's good to be liberal when you are dating someone, but is it a must that a man, because he's dating the lady now, should now start taking care of the lady in a way that they're not yet married, they're not yet connected in that way, for the lady to become his full responsibility? Because this is actually stressing the young guy out, and he really likes the lady, but this is a problem and he doesn't know what to do. And I, for one, have told him my own stance on this. He doesn't really need to do it because there's no commitment to that stuff. So I don't know your take on that, sir.
I mean, you gave him the best answer. Let me say, I mean, you did a better job. I'm not sure I would have done a better job than you did. So you've acted like a very professional relationship coach. And the key word that we needed to get is the last word, one of the last two words you used. When you use the word commitment, it is commitment that leads to responsibility. I can't start taking responsibility for you when I am not committed fully to be your husband. There's nothing wrong with expressing generosity. That is from free will. But I'm not going to be taking on the responsibility for your life. Because again, that should be a trigger to the young man, a red flag to say, what have you been doing with your life before you met me? Because you don't need a life partner if you don't have a life.
Yeah.
So do you have a life? What have you been doing with your life? Okay, you want me to be your life partner, but do you have a life? And if your life, I want to even see what your life looked like. And if that life is a life filled with indebtedness, you can't pay your bills, you've not been able to manage your finances, people are pursuing you all over the place, you have a financial mess. Okay, that gives me a sneak preview of who I am bringing into my life. And what I want What I want, what God promised me, is that two are better than one. If one fall, the other shall lift him up. Question is, this kind of person, if I fall, how can you lift me up?
Yeah.
So it's very critical to examine this lady carefully for her to be placing a demand. Honestly, it betrays the sense of dignity that a lady comes into relationship with. Normally, even if a lady wants a guy to do something, ladies have the decorum. They have some sense of dignity. There's a way they can make you do it without asking you to do it.
Sure.
But when a lady go all out and like, you have to start buying my recharge card, you buy me phone, you have to take care of my family members, then you are not looking for marriage. What you are looking for is a charity center, and this man is supposed to be a Father Christmas. You're not really looking for. In actual fact, the man should question, what kind of love is this that is already driven by needs? I really care for the young man. I am concerned for him, and the lady too. I think there is a need to properly look carefully into her, because again, if she is financially impoverished, if she's having career challenges, she's having financial challenges, and if she's in the Western world, maybe she doesn't have papers. If she's an unstable person, I think what he needs to do for her first is not to talk about marriage. She needs stability before she talks about relationship. Her life, because again, such a lady, the moment she becomes stable, she's financially empowered, it will amaze you to know how that she will suddenly realize that he's not the kind of man she wants.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what leads women when suddenly they become financially stable. It happens also to men. When they become financially stable, you start seeing behaviors that you didn't see before. When they were needy, when they were broke, when they were in need of you, they demonstrated certain virtues. But as they begin to become more financially empowered, you begin to discover that they begin to lose those virtues. And then when they become empowered, you become nothing. And then they move now to the face of life that they truly believe that they belong to. So for the young man, I would say to him, he should proceed cautiously. Yes. And he has someone like you around him. I mean, you are just the best for someone like him. Listening to your thoughts, you are simply the best for him. He doesn't even need to come look for me. Just tell him that he's got the best around him. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You just give him the right stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you, ma'am. All right. Let's look at who is on the line, who is out. Okay, Santiago is there. Yes, Santiago, go ahead and ask your question. Is he asking a question or he just on mute? You are not muted. You are muted.
Good evening, Papa.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is, how can someone deal with traumas, past relational traumas, and based on what you passed through in your former relationships, you realize that you're so scared to go into another because you feel those things are going to repeat itself again.
Yeah.
And at some point, you even tried getting into one, and at the blink of it, you realize that some of these things are beginning to show up again. Is it that you cannot find someone without all of these things, or that's just what I'm trying to deal with, emotional trauma from past?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One of the things that trauma does for us is that trauma trains us to see what we've always seen. Trauma trains you to see what you've always seen. So if you've had painful experiences before, anytime you see anything that looks like it, you are quick to identify it. So one of the things we always encourage is be healed. Make sure that what you need is not relationship. What you need is to look for a professional, someone who is a good therapist, a counselor, someone who can work with you and take you through the process, helping you to find healing. So I will say, normally, this is not the time to look for who to relate with. This is the time to become whole. Because again, when you become better, your choices become better. But when you're going through a season of trauma, it can affect the quality of choices you make. Yes. So people make poor choices, poor judgments in terms of who to settle with when they are going through trauma. So it's always good to come out of the traumatic season, the traumatic phase, come out of it so that you can be able to make the best of judgments. So my counsel to you is try to make sure you find a therapist, find someone who's a good counselor, a good coach, someone you can sit down with and talk through life's issues with. And so that eventually you find healing and you're able to look at life differently. And then you are able to look at yourself differently and know that what happened to me does not define who I am. And what happened to me will not dictate who I will choose to be my life partner. I deserve much more than what I experienced growing up. So dealing with trauma positions you to enjoy the best in your future. Otherwise, trauma can color your perspective, trauma can affect your perception, and it can lead you right back into a relationship that will just make you say, I fell into it again. And that's something you don't want to experience. So be healed of it. Make sure that you're totally free from what happened to you in the past so that you can make wise decisions as you move towards your future. So focus on healing, not relationship. All right.
Thank you so much.
God bless you, sir. All right. Who is on the line? Timmy Tokwe. Yes. Your video was on. That's why I called you. What's your
Good evening, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. What's your question?
My question is, I'll first of all start from myself. I'm a kind of person that, like in my relationship, what my man told me, he said, I'm kind of person that I defend myself when someone is trying to talk to me, being defensive. I am very stubborn, which I know, but I'm trying to work on it, sir. I'm stubborn and I'm being defensive, which I know, and I'm trying to work on it.
That's good.
But the question in my relationship, the person I'm dating is a man of God.
Okay.
But we attend the same church, but he said he doesn't want anybody, want us to hide our relationship in the church. So we've been doing that for some months now. But there are some times that we expose our relationship to people. Then again, we started hiding it. Said we started hiding it again, to the extent that even outside the church, we still hide our relationship. We can't go out together. Even though if we are going out together, we are going to, like, I might just go to this way and you go to another way so that people will not see together. Again, one, he doesn't call me. He doesn't know how to call. I've always been the one calling him, texting him, checking up on him. So he said that his own personality, he doesn't know how to call, that I can be doing that well. And I've been doing that on my own side. I've been calling you. I've been supportive with the little I can do. It's not like I have much, but with the little one I can do, I support him with the little one I can do. I pray for him. But the thing I don't understand is that now that he doesn't want people to know about our relationship, both in church and outside, because he said the place is living, that people that we are going to church with, they're also in that area. That he doesn't want anything that will make them to start saying nonsense. But the one that now scared me, sir, is, so he said his shepherd asked him that, are we in a relationship? He said, we are no more in a relationship again. And we both know that we are still in a relationship. So I now ask him, what if the shepherd now ask him to carry Bible and swear that are we truly not in a relationship? He said he's going to swear, which I'm very scared of. Like, What kind of relationship is that? We both know that we are in a relationship, we are just hiding it from people. But the fact that you say you carry Bible and still swear, sir, it got me worried.
You should be worried. So you have the, one of the things that I love about you is that you're a very, very open person. Because what I'm worried about is, are you in a relationship? Because you are the one calling, you are the one reaching out, you are the one that is also expected to hide it. I mean, I am worried. Yes. And I love the fact that one of the things I love about you was the fact that he said you are stubborn, and you are not a stubborn person. Is that okay? You are just somebody who is different. You have a way of addressing issues. You just need to improve in the way you perhaps maybe respond. Is that okay? So just improve. Don't put that label on yourself that you are stubborn. You are not. You are just somebody who is different, and you have a way of dealing with things. The only thing is that you need to improve. Is that okay? Now, but please, when you are in a relationship with if it is a relationship, the first key to having a successful relationship as a Christian is for you to let your parents be aware. Your parents, he must come as a woman. You deserve the respect. Not after months. The first week, if you accept him and he says maybe he doesn't even want his pastor to know yet, your parents must see him. It was the very night Rebecca met the servant of Abraham. When they came to meet her by the way, that very day she took them home to go and see her parents. So it is very important, number one, that he gets to meet your parents. You have to put your feet on the ground. Say, sorry, I love you, I appreciate you, but I can't do a relationship that does not have the blessing of my parents and does not have the blessing of my pastor. I'm a woman under authority. So since you are interested in me, please, I request that you come and see my parents. And there's a way we do it in Africa. His own family must come with him. He can't carry himself and just come like Melchizedek, who has no father or mother. He has to come and come there with, even if he's holding his Bible as a pastor, it doesn't matter. When he's coming for a wife, he's coming for a wife. He's not coming for evangelism. So he needs to come to your father's house. He needs to come and pay respect. He needs to show you that he honors and he values you. That you are not just a woman on the street. He should come to your house. Number two, you will let him know that it is dangerous for us to be in relationship without the blessing of our pastor, our covering. We need the blessing of our pastor. Our pastor needs to know. Even if we're not going to make it open to church members, we need our pastor to know, so that if there are counseling moments, and at the same time, we need, if you truly want to marry me, we need to also be registered with the church premarital counseling group. Is this an open-ended relationship? Is this a relationship with no end? When are we getting married? And if we have a date for marriage, question, have we committed ourselves to the premarital for them to start working on us? I think the signs I'm seeing, unfortunately, for anybody to be isolating you, is in relationship with you but doesn't want people to know about it. Unfortunately, that is not a good sign. It's what people who intend to do some, particularly those who are abusive people isolate. I'm not saying that's what he wants to do. Please.
He doesn't want me to associate myself with other people in church. He want me to always be sitting alone. I should not talk to anybody. I should just be alone without talking to anybody.
No. That's
I'm into catering job, baking, also a marketer in a microfinance bank. There's no way I won't talk to people because that's the only way I can see customer. And I'm a kind of person that I don't go out from church to my house, from work. That's the three places I spent my life. So there's no way I will even see people outside because I don't talk to people. But in the church, that's where I am almost that's where I've always been. He doesn't want to talk to anybody.
No, no,
He
no.
doesn't want to see me with anybody.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Let me be very honest with you. That and how long have you been in a relationship now?
1 year and 5 months.
Eh?
1
No,
year and 5 months.
no. Sorry. Call him to order. Tell him if you love him, you truly love him, then it's time to call him. Tell him, sorry, enough of this. I can't take it anymore. Put your feet on the ground. Let him know that if he's not willing to come see your parents with his family and then get to see your pastor and make his intentions known, tell him that there's no need. We can call it off. And then the signs I'm seeing for somebody to be isolating you now, not married to you, I am concerned about what will happen when you marry. I'm very concerned. The signs are not too good. All right? Please talk with your family, talk with your pastor about this matter. I'm sure that God will guide you. But from what I am seeing, the signs are not good.
My family are even against it.
Uh-oh.
And I've been trying my best.
Oh.
All my family are against it. But I've been trying my best. Okay, this man, no. I told my family about him, and I told him too that he should come and see my family. It's just saying he will come, he will come, he will come. But the thing he always tell me is that he said me that I'm always being defensive, I'm very stubborn, I hardly listen to correction. Is it me that he will come and see my family that sometimes say I'm not worth to be with that he can't even run away with me, that if he wants to run away with me that he's going to regret it.
Okay. Sorry. I don't know if you call this a relationship. And I don't know what you've been hanging around this with for 1 year, 5 months. There are too many troubles here. Your family is already telling you they don't approve of this. You are still going on. And then the man is isolating you. You are still going on. Too many things. And you are still on. I think you need to look at yourself and say to yourself, you're a beautiful woman. You are hardworking. So what are you really looking for? Why would you be in this kind of situation for this long? What are you looking for? Because from everything I'm seeing now, I don't think you're getting the love you want. You complain, he doesn't call you. He doesn't, So what are you what are you in the relationship for? What do you get?
I don't get it. It's just that I just love me. I thought it would change. So that's why I've been trying to be patient, thinking it will change. But him constantly like blaming me, any fault that we have in the relationship, he always I'm the one that has fault. He never sees his own fault. I've always been the one at fault. And he will be comparing me to other ladies, to his pastor wife. Like, it's not easy, sir.
It's not easy. So, I'm glad that you came to you're not married though.
Yes.
Sweetheart, you are not married and it's not easy. So what will it look like when you get married? You've not started the race. You're already tired.
Because I love me. I thought it will change, but
sorry. Love
really been hard, very for me.
Love doesn't change a man. And never gamble with your life and say that because you love a man, you will ignore the things that you are seeing that won't make for a happy marriage. Marriage is where you need to communicate. You are not communicating. Marriage is a place where a man will bring out the best out of you. He's a husbandman. A husbandman is like a gardener who tends things. He brings out the best. He's a gardener. He brings the best out of you. Right now, look at you. Is he bringing the best out of you?
No, sir.
Look at that. Look at what you're going through. So what are you holding on to? What is this relationship adding to you? Are you becoming a powerful prayer warrior by this?
I'm a failure.
Oh my God. Your attachment to him is my concerns. It's giving me a lot of concern. Why are you even attached? And why you find it difficult to say, okay, look, what am I looking for here? What am I holding on to? Take your time. Like I said, talk with your parents, and already they have their own opinion about it. My assignment is not to tell you whether you should stay in it or get out of it, but I'm saying to you the signs we are seeing, even if you choose to get married tomorrow, we have worrying signs already. If you marry tomorrow, there are already things on ground that will cause you to have a very painful marriage later. Until you deal with these things, I don't think you should be in a hurry to move on. Get your pastor on board. Get your senior pastor on board. The time has come to go and talk to your senior pastor. There's no more secrecy. There's no need to keep secrecy here or secret issues here. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
I wish you the best. And you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're hardworking, and I want you to know that you have a great future. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
God bless you, ma'am. God bless you. Wow. Ooh, amazing. Okay. Pastor Chinedu. Okay. The other people who are online here, who are on Zoom, if you want to ask a question, you have to put on your video and ask a question. Okay, Lokta, are you asking a question? Is Lokta asking a question or not? Otherwise, Pastor Chinedu, what do you think about what you just heard?
Papa, is it interesting? We're just listening, and then my wife and I have been having conversations here. It's really interesting how our generation find themselves hooked up and really find it difficult to detangle from a relationship that's obviously going nowhere. And it worries us. And Papa, we see this in a lot much more with younger persons who we mentor. There's no way forward, and yet you're not sure whether you should go back or just detangle from the relationship. I think it has a lot to do with self-confidence and just believing in themselves.
Wow.
But Papa, because of our time, I'll just go.
Papa, if I can lend to that, I think somehow I would say I see myself not the full picture of what our reality is, but most women already in marriage didn't know or see this. It wasn't that big. It has very obvious because maybe because of our personality, but for other personalities who are very extroverted, you might not know that you're having similar issues that it looks like she's having. I see from the feminine side, I see a lady whose attachment style is quite anxious, not because and she doesn't know, and that could be backdated to trauma, right? The need for love, the need for validation. I was more extroverted, but I didn't know that there was that part of me battling somewhere. Marriage only amplified it. And I'm the first female child, and I was everywhere. Mommy was not around growing up. I was always wanting to make everybody pleased. How an extroverted person became a people pleaser, it was like a mutation of personality. So it's very valid that she takes this 6 time off from that relationship and really take time to read, study, know about herself, get her voice, and know what she needs to become for her. Give that love she seeks to herself. Then she begins to see, oh, this is for me and that's not for me. What she said is very deep, very, very deep.
Absolutely.
For people like us who are extroverted but didn't know that we were needing love and we're people pleasers. So it's very key. I really wish we could follow up on her. She can show up every Monday and Tuesday, and we keep progress with her. Papa.
Yes, I think that's something we're going to do. Our time is, oh, I just realized our time is up. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be back tomorrow. Can we have the pictures back? So I want to see if I can talk with her. Thank you so much for that great contribution, Pastor Chinedu and your wife. We really, really need to. Timitokwe, what I will do is send your number. There's going to be a number on the screen. I'd like you to connect with us so that if I need to get you hooked up to somebody who is a therapist, so that one of my therapists can attend to you and help you through this process. Is that okay? We need to help you. Whatever support we can give to you, we need to do that. But it begins by talking, and you've started. And you need to go further. Talk to your parents. Talk to your pastor. Everybody you've been told not to talk to, like your pastor and your parents, you need to talk to them now. It's time to make a decision, either to resolve it or to dissolve it. Is that okay? And the signs we have, they are not too good signs. Yeah. So you will see a number on the screen. Take advantage of that number, and then we will proceed. We will proceed by the grace of God. Okay. Let's quickly take a look at, I think I'm supposed to round up, but I see Lakita. Is Lakita coming up? I'm seeing multiple screens here. Okay, Lokta, are you asking a question? Are you asking, unmute yourself, unmute. Okay, I think she doesn't know how to unmute. Okay, you can try back tomorrow. We'll give you an opportunity to ask question tomorrow. You can't unmute your. Can you unmute yourself? Oh, she's finding it difficult to do that. All right. We're going to be back, everybody, tomorrow. It's going to be the same time, 6 o'clock West African time. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be continuing with the series we started today, overcoming the major roadblocks to having a qualitative marriage and relationship. Today, we've been able to dive into emotional immaturity, and we've been able to see how it affects relationships and marriages. One of the things you can do for yourself is to grow yourself so that you can have a qualitative relationship. We love you so much. Tell your friends who missed out on today's broadcast to join us tomorrow on this platform. It is our hope and prayer that marriages and relationships will become better. So talk to your friends, encourage them to be a part of this. You're going to be learning so much, and you're going to become better. 6 p.m. West African time is the time to be connected to us. If you are in Kenya, do we have the Kenya link? Those of you who are in Kenya, you want to join our tribe in Kenya, you want to join our group in Kenya. If we have the number for Kenya, you will connect with that number. They will put it on the screen. And if you want to join our Global Singles Network, all the details will also be placed on the screen. Although I can see it on the screen, but if you see it, please take advantage of the contacts, both for Kenya and for our Global Singles Network. For those of you who are singles, you want to be connected, all right? We love you so much. We'll be back again tomorrow, 6 p.m. West African time. And by the way, if you've not gotten the book on emotional divorce, get that book on emotional divorce. Singles, we have the book Singles Checklist for you. Get this book. It will show you 10 things you need to say, you check before you say, I do. We have other books you will find. The video will be showing you where to get the books. If you want to get hard copies, you can send a message to the phone number you see on the video. We will get the hard copies that I will sign. We'll send it over to you wherever you are around the world. Add value to yourself by increasing your knowledge. You become better, your relationship becomes better. So invest in you so that your relationship can be at rest. We love you so much. I'll be back. And don't forget, tomorrow morning, 5:50 a.m. West African time, we gather together for prayer. We need the help of God to build solid relationship. Join us on this same platform, 5:50 a.m. West African time, this Tuesday. It's going to be our Tuesday turning point as we pray together in the morning, 5:50 a.m. And in the evening, 6 a.m. West African time, we will be gathering together for relationship today. Tell your friends about it. Love you. Bye-bye.